Hey, beautiful. It's so good to have you here. Whether you're lounging on your couch with your favorite coffee mug, multitasking at work with one earbud in, don't worry, I won't tell, or just in need of a little love life reboot, you're exactly where you need to be right now. Today we're talking about something every woman secretly wonders, but hardly ever says out loud. How do I become the woman he can't stop thinking about? Not in a clingy, needy, text me back in 0.2 seconds or I'll panic kind of way. No, I'm talking about becoming the woman who enters his mind at random moments, in the car, during his lunch break, while he's brushing his teeth, and stays there, like a song he can't stop humming. Now let me be clear, this isn't about playing games. It's not about making him jealous or using some magical one text to obsess him formula that someone on TikTok swore by. This is deeper. It's about cultivating something so magnetic, so emotionally captivating, that your presence starts to feel, well, a little bit like a drug. Think about it. What do people crave the most? It's not always the loudest or flashiest thing in the room. It's the thing that makes them feel something. Something real, something unforgettable. And trust me, when a man connects your presence with feelings like joy, peace, excitement, inspiration, and even emotional safety, you're not just in his heart, you're in his bloodstream. I know it sounds intense, but don't worry, we're not turning you into some emotional sorceress with powers of seduction, unless you want to be, in which case I support your magic. We're just going to tap into the real you. The confident, magnetic, playful, emotionally intelligent woman who already exists inside you. We're just turning up the volume. Say, if you've ever wondered why some women leave a mark on a man's soul while others are quickly forgotten, this is for you. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 5 cool things that make a man crave your presence like his favorite comfort food, his go-to song, or that one hoodie he never washes but refuses to throw away. Let's dive into the good stuff. Here are 5 powerful things you can do to make him crave your presence like a drug, naturally, effortlessly, and most importantly, authentically. If you want to make a man crave your presence like a drug, it starts with this: be the spark that lights up his emotional world. And no, I don't mean you have to be the loudest one in the room or constantly on with a smile glued to your face. I'm talking about the kind of spark that comes from your energy, the unique emotional signature you carry into every space you walk into. You know the kind of person I'm talking about. Someone whose presence changes the temperature in a room. When they walk in, it's like the atmosphere shifts. People lean in. They light up. Why? Because that person brings a level of emotional aliveness that's contagious. And here's the truth. That can be you. You see, most people live on autopilot. We wake up, go through our routines, reply to texts with the same recycled emojis, and sometimes forget to really feel. But when you become someone who's emotionally awake, who brings warmth, curiosity, playfulness, and passion into your daily interactions, people notice, and men in particular, feel it. He may not be able to explain it, but he knows that when you're around, things feel bright. That spark isn't about being perfect. In fact, it's not about performance at all. It's about giving yourself permission to fully be. When you laugh, let it be real. When something moves you, don't hide it. When you're curious, ask questions like you actually want to know the answers. Most importantly, be present. Really present. Because presence is rare these days. Most people are distracted, checked out, halfway in the moment while scrolling through the next. And when you're someone who listens, who engages, who reacts with intention and emotion, you become unforgettable. Let's take this into the context of dating or a relationship. A man may meet dozens of attractive women, but how many of them actually make him feel something? That's the difference. You're not trying to impress him. You're here to express yourself. That could be your humor, your stories, your passion for something you love, or even your unique way of seeing the world. Those moments are what leave a mark. And let's be honest, there's something incredibly magnetic about a woman who brings emotion into her interactions. Not drama, not chaos, emotion. She makes you laugh a little harder. She surprises you with the way she tells a story. She sees beauty in things others miss. She's playful when others are stiff. That kind of woman doesn't just entertain, she awakens. She doesn't need to chase attention. It naturally flows to her because people want to feel the way she makes them feel. For a man, that kind of presence is deeply addicting. He may go back to his routine, but there's something missing when you're not around. The ordinary moments feel a little more ordinary. The silence feels just a little more quiet, and before he even realizes it, he's thinking about you. Not because of what you wore, not because of some perfectly timed text, but because of how he felt when you were with him. And that's something no algorithm, no dating tip, and no viral trend can replicate. So don't try to be a spark by copying someone else's glow. Be your own fire. Tune into what makes you come alive and share that freely. Because when you show up fully lit from within, people will feel it. And the man who's right for you, he won't just feel it. He'll crave it. Every day you're not around will be a day he misses that feeling, that warmth, that light. And that right there is how you begin to live in someone's heart, rent-free. If you want someone to crave your presence like a drug, you have to let them feel the withdrawal. Let's be honest, craving doesn't happen when you're always there, constantly available, answering every message in under 30 seconds, and never giving him the chance to wonder what you're doing. Craving begins in the space between moments. It grows in the silence. It brews in the absence. It's not about ghosting or playing hard to get. It's about mastering the art of space. Here's something a lot of people don't realize. A little bit of space can make the heart grow curious. And then it starts to grow fonder. When you're constantly in someone's life, you might become a part of their routine, but not necessarily a part of their fantasy. And if we're being honest, most men fall in love through fantasy before they even admit it to themselves. That fantasy gets built during the moments when you're not around, and when he's walking to his car and he catches a scent that reminds him of you, when he's about to text you but realizes he misses you more than he thought. Those are the little moments that make him feel. The truth is, you don't become addictive to someone by constantly flooding their attention. You become addictive by being emotionally impactful and knowing when to step back. It's in those pauses that your presence becomes felt. Your laughter echoes, your energy lingers. You become the space that he wants to fill again. Now, let me be very clear. Space does not mean pulling away just to manipulate. This isn't about playing games. It's about having a life that's full of your own joy, your own pursuits, and your own self-worth. A life that exists with or without him. When a man sees that you're not waiting by the phone, not making him the center of your entire world, he realizes something powerful. You're not there because you need him. You're there because you want him. And that distinction, that's magnetic. Think about how this looks in practice. Maybe he sends you a text, and instead of immediately replying with excitement, you take your time because you're in the middle of doing something that fuels you. Whether that's dinner with friends, a workout, writing in your journal, or binge watching your favorite show, yes, that counts too. When you respond, you're warm, you're present, you're fully there, but you're not rushing and you're not anxious. That energy, that calm self-consciousness tells him everything. It tells him that you value your own time. It tells him that your life is already vibrant and full. And most importantly, it gives him the opportunity to pursue you, to lean in, to wonder what it's like to have more of your attention, because you've shown him that your attention is earned not handed out for free. When you're comfortable with space, you teach him that intimacy isn't just physical closeness, it's emotional rhythm. It's the dance between coming together and stepping back. And when you learn how to move with that rhythm, you create a craving, a healthy, soul-deep craving that has nothing to do with pressure and everything to do with presence. So many women worry, if I pull back, will he lose interest? But the right man doesn't lose interest. He wakes up. He tunes in. He realizes that you are not just someone who shows up when he snaps his fingers. You are someone with boundaries, with value, with a life that doesn't revolve around his. And when you give him space to miss you, to remember what it's like to feel your energy and suddenly not have it, that's when he starts to crave, not because you manipulated him, but because you reminded him of your worth. And that's the kind of presence a man can't help but come back for, again and again. If you really want to become unforgettable to a man, if you want him to not just enjoy your presence, but need it in the deepest emotional way, then you have to understand this. Men don't just crave comfort, they crave inspiration. The truth is, the right kind of woman doesn't just make him feel good in the moment. She makes him want to be better. She doesn't just speak to where he is, she speaks to where he wants to go. Now, don't get this twisted. This isn't about fixing him, changing him, or turning into his personal life coach. That's exhausting, and no one wants to be in that role. But what you can do, without saying a single preachy word, is become a source of emotional fuel. You become the voice that believes in his potential, that reflects back the best version of him, the version he's chasing, even if he hasn't fully stepped into it yet. See, every man has a quiet part of him, the part that dreams, that plans, that questions whether he has what it takes. And most people in his life are either criticizing him for not being there yet, or are too wrapped up in their own worlds to notice. But when you become the woman who sees his ambition, who hears his passion even when he's whispering it, who gets excited with him about what he wants to build, your presence becomes electric. You don't have to cheerlead constantly or drown him in compliments. Sometimes it's as simple as the way you listen when he talks about what drives him, the way you ask, what do you really want for yourself, and genuinely care about the answer, the way you remind him that he's more than just his job title or his bank account or the mistakes he's made. That kind of emotional support, it hits different. Most people feed emotions, you feed evolution, and that's rare. You become the person he associates with growth, with momentum, with possibility. And that kind of connection is addictive in the best way, because it doesn't just feel good, it gives his life meaning. You stop being just another relationship and start becoming the person he sees in his future vision. Not because you pushed your way into his plans, but because you naturally fit there. You become the partner who makes his world feel bigger. Let me give you an example. Imagine he says he's been thinking about starting a business. He's got the idea, but he's nervous. Instead of saying that sounds risky or, well, are you even ready for that? What if you said, I love that you're thinking big. What's the part of it that excites you the most? Do you see how that feels? You're not giving him a to-do list. You're giving him belief. That moment will stick with him far longer than you think. Because let's face it, the woman who truly gets under a man's skin, the one he keeps coming back to, isn't just the one who makes him laugh or makes him feel desired. She's the one who reminds him who he is, or even better, who he's becoming. That woman, she's irreplaceable. So if you want to be the presence he craves like a drug, learn how to speak not just to his heart, but to his higher self. Speak to the part of him that wants to grow, to win, to evolve. And not by pushing, but by believing, by listening, by staying present to the man he's trying to be. Because when your presence is the one that pulls out the best in him, he'll do anything to keep it close. That's not just love, that's legacy. And once he feels that with you, trust me, he'll never stop coming back for more. One of the most underestimated things a man craves and rarely talks about is peace. I'm not talking about silence. I'm talking about the kind of emotional calm that makes him exhale the second he's around you. The kind of presence that doesn't demand, doesn't judge, doesn't constantly ask for more, but instead makes him feel like he can finally put his guard down. So many people confuse excitement with chaos. They think being desirable means keeping someone on their toes, always challenging them, keeping the drama alive. And sure, unpredictability can create attraction, but it doesn't create attachment. If you want a man to crave your presence like a drug, to need it, to look forward to it, to miss it, be the one place in his life that feels like emotional home. Because here's the truth. The world is already putting pressure on him. There are expectations at work, deadlines, family responsibilities, financial stress, uncertainty about the future. The last thing he needs is for the person closest to him to become another source of pressure. What he wants, whether he knows how to say it or not, is to be with someone who makes him feel safe being himself. Someone who doesn't just love his strengths, but understands his flaws, his fears, his quiet moments. That kind of safety, that kind of peace is not just attractive, it's addicting. Think about the people you personally crave being around. Are they the ones who constantly criticize you, make you feel like you're walking on eggshells? Or are they the ones who, even when they challenge you, do it with love? The ones who let you breathe? That's the kind of presence that makes people fall in love without even realizing it. And you can be that presence. Giving a man peace doesn't mean you never argue or that you agree with everything he says. It means you communicate with kindness. It means you choose your battles with maturity. It means you don't punish him for being human. And most of all, it means you don't make his love for you conditional on him constantly performing perfectly. In a world that often demands men to be stoic, successful, emotionally bulletproof, you can be the person who allows him to just be. When he messes up, you don't shame him. When he's quiet, you don't take it personally. When he's vulnerable, you don't flinch. That kind of emotional safety is rare. And when he finds it in you, he won't want to let it go. You know why? Because peace is healing. It's the thing most people don't realize they're missing until they finally feel it. It doesn't shout. It doesn't compete. It simply exists. And once it's gone, there's a tension, an itch, a restlessness, because nothing quite replaces it. So when you become the woman who brings him peace, who knows how to calm the storm instead of adding to it, you start to stand out in ways no physical feature ever could. You become his escape from the noise, his reset button, his emotional sanctuary. And that's powerful. Of course, you also deserve peace. This goes both ways. But when you offer it first, when you show up calm, emotionally intelligent, kind, even in conflict, you model the kind of energy that makes relationships last, that makes love feel like a relief, not a chore. So if you want to be the woman he can't stop thinking about, the one he longs to come home to, be the one who makes him feel seen and soothed, not because you're trying to keep him, but because you've done the work to become emotionally safe for yourself. That kind of peace is magnetic. And once he's felt that with you, he'll chase it, he'll protect it, and he'll never want to be without it. There's something almost magical about feeling chosen. Not just liked, not just desired, but chosen. And for a man, especially one who's used to people being distracted, half invested, or constantly keeping their options open, this feeling is rare. It hits different because it speaks to something deeper than attraction. It speaks to significance. When a man feels like he's the only one who gets that look from you, the only one who hears you laugh like that, the only one who gets that soft, intentional touch or that kind of attention, that's when he starts to crave you on a level he doesn't even fully understand. Because it's no longer about competition or conquest. It becomes about connection. Now, let me be clear. This doesn't mean you lose your independence or revolve your entire world around him. It's not about obsession. It's about intention. It's about creating moments where he feels like he's not just part of your life, he's in a league of his own. That when you're with him, you're really with him. Your energy, your focus, your warmth, it's all there, undivided, undistracted, undeniably his. Think about the times in your own life when someone made you feel like you were the only one in the room. Maybe it was the way they listened when you spoke. Maybe it was how they remembered the tiniest detail you mentioned in passing, or how they celebrated your wins like they were their own. That feeling, that's powerful, that's memorable. And when you give a man that kind of emotional spotlight, not every day, not over the top, but in the right, sincere moments, he'll feel it in his core. Because here's the secret, it's not about being flashy. It's about being present. When you're with him, put the phone down. Lean in when he talks. Ask thoughtful questions. Laugh with your whole heart. Show him that you're not thinking about anyone else. Because this moment, this connection, this man matters to you. Men are intuitive, even if they pretend not to be. They can feel when you're half there, half invested, or still scanning the field. And when that's the energy they get from someone, it triggers a defense mechanism. They keep their guard up. They don't go deep. Because why would they fully show up for someone who might leave the second something shinier walks by? Partners. But when you show up differently, when you make him feel like for you, no one else even compares, that's when the walls come down. That's when he starts to lean in more. Text first, make plans. Crave your presence, not just because you make him feel good, but because you make him feel valued. Now, don't confuse this with flattery or ego stroking. It's not about constantly praising him or putting him on a pedestal. It's about emotional focus. It's about giving him a safe space to be seen as himself, not as a checklist, not as a placeholder, not as one of many, just him. When a man feels like the only one, he stops comparing. He stops playing games. He stops investing because he knows this kind of connection doesn't come around often. And that emotional exclusivity, that's addictive. That's the feeling that keeps him up at night thinking about you, replaying the way you looked at him like he was the only man in the world. So if you want him to crave you, to really crave you, don't just be beautiful, don't just be kind, be intentional, be present, make him feel like no one else could possibly stand where he's standing in your life. And when you do that with authenticity, grace, and your whole heart, he'll never want to lose that feeling. So let's bring it all together. If you truly want to make a man crave your presence like a drug, it's not about playing games. It's not about manipulating his emotions or being someone you're not. It's about elevating the experience of being with you. Because when your presence feels like confidence wrapped in calm, when you bring joy, peace, and irresistible depth into his world, he won't be able to stay away, even if he tried. Let's recap what we've talked about. You ignite his desire by creating emotional anticipation, that sweet tension between closeness and mystery. You make him crave you more when you mirror his energy and reflect the best of him back. You awaken his senses by becoming unforgettable through the details, the energy, the you-ness that only you can bring. You offer him something rare when you give peace, not pressure. And most of all, you trigger his deepest attachment by making him feel like he's the only one. Not because you're desperate for him, but because you've chosen him. Hey, listen, any woman can get attention, but only a woman who leads with intention emotional intelligence, and heart can keep it in the most powerful way. Because what men crave more than anything else is not just a partner, but a sanctuary. Someone who lights up his world and quiets his mind. Someone he can't stop thinking about when the world gets loud. Someone he wants, not just in his arms, but in his life. And here's the beauty of it. When you become that woman for yourself first, you don't have to try to make someone crave you. They just will. Because true magnetism isn't in what you chase, it's in what you embody. So here's your challenge. Stop trying to impress him. Start being unforgettable to you. Work on your energy. Build your peace. Show up, present. And then let him meet you at that level. Because once he experiences the woman who does all of this, he'll crave you not just like a drug, but like air. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 points spoke to you the most? Drop it in the comments below. And if you love this speech, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a little reminder of just how magnetic they really are. New relationship advice drops every week, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Until next time, keep showing up with love, confidence, and that irresistible energy only you have.